Hello, everybody, and welcome. I am your host, Daniel Cahoon, and you are watching what? Magical Journey. Before we get started tonight, I want to do a little bit of shameless promotion because it's my show. So, yeah. Um, First of all, the website, magicaljourney.com. I'm sensing a theme here already. Go check it out. It has all of my products. I don't have products. I do have I do have now readings and workings listed on there. Um, I also have some videos that you may not have seen yet uh, on there where I've done guest spots as a guest on other people's shows. There's a few things hanging out there. Go check that out. Now, here's the cream of the crop, other than, of course, the show itself. I want you guys to, if you have not yet, join me on what? The Book of the Fays. We have a group, we have a page, both. The page is strictly all about what's happening here on the channel. So if you just want to know about the shows, go hang out on the page. The group, we offer that, but we also offer a little bit more. So it's always good to go and join the group. I'm not going to be mad at you if you do. If you don't, though, don't come trick-or-treating at my house next year. I'm joking. Anyway, all right. So tonight, I have for you a very special guest. Not only is she very well known on TikTok, but she's also a very well known author. And I am talking about the one, the only, Nana the Witch. And there you are. Hey, hey.
What an entrance. I don't know who this broad is, but she must be great.
She is amazing. She is absolutely amazing. You've
How are you,
literally
Daniel?
captivated. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good too. I want for nothing and I have all that I need. So
There you go.
there you go.
Hey, so some of our viewers are really new to you because they're not familiar with TikTok or they're new to TikTok. So fill them in a little bit about that and let us hear about where we can find you other than on the talk. And I think you got some books that you can promote up.
I do. I do. Well, firstly, I'm everywhere. I I'm like pollen. It just I am on TikTok. I'm on the Book of Faces. I'm on the Tube of You. I'm I'm on Lemonade. I'm on Instagram. I'm on X in various capacities, but I'm on all of them and you can find me on all of
Wow. And your books are on Amazon?
them. My books are on Amazon. There are a few links. I do have a website. It's basically there just to book consultations or readings, but I do have direct links on there of a few of my books. I don't have the new calendar link on there. But if you look up Michelle Yates, two L's, Nana the Witch, any of that, all of it will come up for you. And you can find the links. So, but I wish I was so famous I could hire a website person.
You know what? I
You can
feel
feel
you.
that, right?
Yeah. Thank goodness for GoDaddy. That's all I gotta say.
Ah, so yeah, but or they can message me on any of those platforms. People do it all the time and say, "Hey, didn't you have this book?" And I'll be like, "Sure, let me get it." Sometimes I even have copies I can sign and send you.
Oh
So,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really excited though about Go ahead. Am I interrupting you?
No, I was good. So go ahead, and because there's two of them I want to talk about specifically, but go ahead with what you're saying.
Well, I was just going to talk about the latest one, the one that just came out like what, last week or the week before. Have you not heard? It is the
Well,
2025 as everything
ah,
collapses around. Oh, my books fell. Practitioner's calendar grimoire spell casting. Now, did you know of the 2024 edition?
I think I do remember the
Remember?
2024.
Okay, so this is the 2025 edition. Okay,
Hmm.
now all of the stuff in the beginning is the same as the 2024 edition. What you can find in here is instructions on how to create your own spell work, step by step instructions. Then we go into eclipses, retrogrades, phases of the moon, days of the week, hours of the day, and how all that affects your casting. Now, what's new in this edition? I have added the retrogrades and the eclipses to the calendar.
Oh, wow.
So, and just for those that are listening to this, they will be in the know and understand. January and December, we will have retrogrades that have already started. So those are going to be listed right
Hmm.
there. And then later on, you'll see where it ends. And of course, in the beginning, you figure out what retrograde you want to do, what particular working. And let me tell you something, it's not that you have to do it this way. But if you're old like me, you understand putting aluminum foil on the antennas of your TV.
Right, right,
That's what these things do. Like I talk about in my books, each one of these things is like a string in the quantum. And you pull and access specific strings, and that gives your workings power. That gives your manifestations power and your intentions and whatever it is you're doing. Can you do it without it? Absolutely. I can fish with a bare hook all day long and might even catch fish. But
right,
imagine if I had a specific bait on there for a specific fish.
right.
I'll get off my soapbox now.
But this is very important because in a couple of weeks, I'll have somebody else coming on who is going to agree 100% with you on that based on everything I've heard him say. So, and oddly enough, believe it or not, it's actually Ryan coming
Oh,
on
no,
in a
I do
couple of
believe it. We're very close friends. We absolutely are on the same page on a lot of
well,
things.
I was very surprised actually because he's so busy um, that I like he didn't even really ask me much about the podcast. He was like, "Sure, I'll be glad,"
Yeah.
and I was just like, "Wow." Um, you two, getting you two on is like to me a big deal because y'all are both pretty
Oh,
much like, "Oh yeah, 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 yeah."
we're just doing the best. At least I speak for me. I know, but I know Ryan is too, because like I said, we spend a lot of time off app in our personal lives
Oh
talking,
yeah,
and there's nothing better than that friend that you can have that deep metaphysical, throw ideas at, and they don't think you're
exactly,
bananas.
exactly. Especially if you are in communities that is just if there's a lot of competition and a lot of
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and you know, and I'm excited about the fact, first of all, that like uh, the little bit of time I get lately to actually follow people or whatever, I get a chance to keep up with what's going on a little bit more in the community. I do want to like jump in really quickly and um, just let everybody know that if you go and check out the book, okay, I would strongly suggest the Book of Correspondences. I have a copy of it myself. And Nana, I can't believe like you are so thorough with things.
Oh, you're talking about the compendium.
Because yeah, yeah. There is like there it
Here's the thing, though, Daniel. I, to be perfectly honest, though, this leans traditional. Okay, so know that going in,
Mhm.
this leans traditional. It is by far the one and only. I mean, here's the thing: red pepper means different in a lot of different traditions, and
Right.
it does different things. So just
Mhm.
know that this leans traditional.
Right,
So
right.
if you're a
It does.
traditional practitioner, it's going to be right up your alley.
It does, and I personally appreciate it because there is like you cut to the chase. You don't give a lot of fluff about it. You are absolutely right where like I can go in, I can look for something, I read it out, know in my mind, okay, this is it. This is what the thing that I'm looking
Yeah.
for. Of course, the other thing, and this is where I got really excited. Uh, it to me, this is a new concept, and that's the quantum. It for me, it's very new,
Yeah. And it's so
and
old. It's ancient old.
and
Ancient
that
old.
yeah, oh,
The teachers
yeah,
of Bharat, the Hindus,
mm,
were speaking of energies that can speak to one another over a long distance. And we now today call that quantum entanglement.
wow.
It's old, 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 old. The word quantum is new, but that's literally it. The labels are new.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
Um, so give us a little bit of a rundown on exactly like talk to me like I'm a first grader here. What exactly is quantum? And reading the book, I got a good idea. But what are we
Which one
talking
did
about?
you read, by the way? The
Um,
Quantum Witch or the Quantum Awakening?
the Quantum Witch.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Which one should I have read first? That's the question.
Well, here's the thing. I wrote the one you should have read first, second, like any good author would do. And
Okay.
then I'm coming out with a third that really should have been first.
Oh my.
But that's okay. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant, really. But I'm here's the thing. What I talk about, the labels are new. Okay, the quantum, the word quantum, the word entanglement. Those are all new things to say. But these energies and the understanding of how to work with these energies is very, very, very ancient. And that has been kind of driven from us, okay, as a species, as entities, okay. And I tell people all the time, I'm really not teaching you anything. I'm helping you remember. That's why it's
Mm,
so comfortable. That's why when you come to my things and the practices that I, invite everyone into, that's why it's so comfortable because it's
mm,
not new. You're naturally supposed to know. You know how to breathe. You know how to stay breathing. Okay. At least we hope. Okay. You know how to stay, we do our best to stay mentally fit. Okay. But we have completely lost connection with our meridians, our
mhm.
nervous system. The reason now I'm getting into conspiracy. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to say that up front, my disclaimer. But I seriously, the more I study fibromyalgia, because I am a sufferer, it's absolutely There's a direct connection with my meridians and my nervous system and how I cleanse it and
Mhm.
how I tap in to the energy, the earth, the sun, all of these things. It's energy.
True.
Okay. You don't see a bird sitting in a tree being depressed.
Right.
And I've raised a lot of birds. And even when they are oppressed, they rarely become depressed. They make the best of it because they're tapped into that energy. We see it as a stupid animal, and it really isn't a stupid animal. It's just tapped in. It's part of this, and we are part of this.
That-
But the Quantum Witch, the one that you read, that one in particular helps to explain things like Reiki, quantum healing. It helps to explain things like, you know, um, psychic readings, tarot readings, divinations of any kind. Um, it also helps with your communication with your folks, with your people,
Mhm.
and different things you can do to help sharpen that.
Right. Right. And you, it's so funny because you talk about it not being a new concept, it's an old concept, and which is very true. I think for me, reading about it and really thinking about it, and especially like applying some of the because you give some really great kind of exercises to do and so forth. Going back, and even though some of them are things that, like, if you've been around in the practice for any length of time, is stuff that you already know to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Um, and it's stuff that's very common, is like going through the steps of that and realizing that the connection it has to the quantum
Mm-hmm.
is just like, wow. And Tom popped in just after you said the word conspiracy. He must have heard you say that because he loves talking conspiracy.
Oh, well, that was nothing.
Right, right. Um, and this is definitely uh, there's a lot of that going on. 'Cause some of the folks that we're all tied to, in a sense, all are there's some of them on in East Tennessee and so forth where the hurricane hit.
Yeah, yeah.
So we've been all talking conspiracy a lot lately.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Yeah, yeah, I know.
Well, and let me get, because this is one of the things I've been bringing up about the areas that were hit with that, because everybody's talking about the land grabs and all that, and and all the different reasons why those we some of us believe that this was not necessarily a natural phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things I've been explaining to people too is, Tom said, "Hey, can you see the
I
chat?
can't.
If you look at
Here.
the
Oh, okay. Now I got
okay, yeah,
comments.
yeah,
Oh
yeah, yeah,
wow.
yeah. Uh,
I didn't even know anybody was in here.
oh yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They're starting to pop in. There's you know they know how I am. They know the
Yeah.
first few minutes is like, yeah, they're they're chatting. They'll get to the heart of the matter soon. Um, the thing that I keep telling people and keep telling to try to get people to understand is it's not just about the mineral rights and all that stuff, but those areas, especially the two or three key areas that people keep focusing on, which is Newport near the Smokies and so forth, um, Asheville and Chimney Rock. Those are very much in line with a very important energy center.
Yeah. Lithium, isn't it?
Well, not only lithium, but like, I mean, just the sacred energies of that area.
Lithium.
Um, well, I mean, there's
It's
that.
extremely, I mean,
There is that. But and I fully agree with you on that part. But there's also other connections to it because essentially, you where the history of that area is in time and space, there's an immense amount. It's kind of like the East Coast version of Mount Shasta.
yeah.
So
You understand that the Appalachians continue into Russia? I think it is.
yeah.
I think it is.
Mhm.
It's like they're in the, you can follow them completely
Mhm.
all the way. I mean, that is places like that. Okay, so it's actually great that you did bring this up because you're talking about primal energy. Okay, these
Mhm.
are beginning of time.
Mhm.
I did a video last week about Moldavite and how the earth, the sun, and a meteor had a threesome and their baby was Moldavite, and which is
Right.
why it's so powerful because look at the primal energies that
Mhm.
created it. Okay. So
Yeah.
just like the Hawaiian thing, that's volcanic
Exactly.
land.
Exactly.
I mean, here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to say about all of it. Because really, we're not going to know till it happens. Okay. We're not going to know till it happens. But I have worked on the local level, okay, county, up to the county, and I have seen enough. Conspiracies are nicer than what really happens.
Mhm.
Okay. I've seen enough
Mhm.
of that. Nothing. I would never tell you, oh, I don't think so. Nothing would surprise me. I don't
Right.
think we even can fathom in our brain
Mhm.
what certain entities are capable of.
Mhm. Well, and the big thing is and I have to be really careful sometimes about how much I actually say. But one of the I've had a couple of people say to me, "Well, if that's the case, why is that so important to them?" Well, because those who tap into those wells are not their friends,
Right.
and they know it, but they're not really sure how to go about rendering us pretty much helpless
Yeah.
because they think they can.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here's the problem: they think they can. So one of the things I've been telling people lately is you got to understand, like, and if what I ran into today, if it really turns out to be what I believe it is going to throw another huge surprise into a lot of people's lives. Um, I find it very interesting that they're going out of their way to try to hit these places and think that they're going to do something other than enrage people.
They don't care what they do.
Well,
They don't.
you would think they
You
would
would think. You would
because
think.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
you're not doing that, are you? They don't care.
And see, that's what I. Here's what they're literally setting themselves up for their own demise,
Absolutely.
and that's why I'm like, are they? Yeah, of course they are. But at the same time, I just get it's like you know how you watch the dog run into the wall so many times, you just finally go, is the dog really getting?
Yeah.
You know, that's what I feel like I'm watching. Is the
Yeah.
dog just keep running into the wall over and over and over
Yeah.
again? And I'm like, when do we finally just get to go to wave our hand and make it all go away?
When do we finally say no more?
Right? Right?
Nobody's got the guts to do that. One person has the guts to do that. People don't have the guts to do that.
Right. Right.
That's the problem.
Right. And that unfortunately is a problem. But it is like, and that's one of the things that is like, you know, the Red Cross is actually closing down shelters now in that
We've been
area.
telling you for years about the Red Cross.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
years, we've been saying, don't give them money.
Yeah.
Don't give
Yeah.
them money.
Yeah.
Their freaking CEO makes something like $350,000 a year.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, if you are surprised at these things, it's because you haven't
Mhm.
been listening.
Well, yeah. But the fact of the matter is, people still are donating.
I know,
People still
I know,
people still believe
I
it.
know, I
They
know,
still believe those 1980s commercials
I know,
with
I
the
know.
family staying in the rain and the
Yeah,
Red Cross helpers coming out all
yeah,
smiles and
yeah.
helping the homeless family. But the thing of it is they're closing down those shelters now. And one of the things that's happening as they're standing there being told that the shelters are going to close down, DCFS is walking right behind them going, and if you don't find someplace to go, we're taking your children.
Yeah, I know. And why is anyone surprised about that? And you can bet my ass I'd be finding some place to go. If it
Well,
was out, if it was out in the woods
you
before
know that,
I'd lay a hand on my kids.
okay, right. The thing that really surprised me today, though, was I was watching something, it was a TikTok video. Uh, the girl was talking about all this, and she was
Yeah,
talking about them taking the kids.
yeah.
And right after she said that, like one of my guides popped up really strongly and said, "Doesn't this sound like what Russia did to the Ukrainians?"
What many, it isn't just Russia, and it's been done. We've been doing this to each other for a millennia.
Of course we have,
We've been
but
doing this to each other for millennia. Here's the thing, and we allow it as a collective
mm,
consciousness,
yeah,
okay, to do
yeah,
this.
we do.
Uh
That's
huh.
the
Yeah,
thing.
we do.
That's the thing. We do allow it, and that is one of the things that I keep telling people all
Yeah.
the time: avoid certain propaganda, like we're watching all these doomsday videos and all this,
Here's the
because
thing:
mhm,
if you're going to manifest, if you're going to do the things in my book that my book talks about, the things that I preach about all the
mhm,
time, if you're going to do that, then you've got to be not scared to jump out of the pond.
right,
Like we
right,
were saying when we were visiting before, you got to
hmm,
jump out of the pond and don't jump back in once you're
right,
out. You've got to not be scared because what are they going to do?
right,
Right now in Kansas City, that is the nearest biggest city to me. I'm an hour from there. There is a tenant strike. There is one particular high rise building that is, I think, rent controlled apartments. Okay. They're done. Every single apartment is out on the sidewalk right now. No one has paid their rent. No one for a month now. Every day, every single apartment is down on the sidewalk. They can't evict everybody. Any judge they go in front of, the judge is going to go, fix your problem. You know why? They're all getting together. One person gripes about it. Nobody
right,
cares.
right,
You got to be brave enough to jump out of the pond.
right. Well, and that's again one of the things that I keep praying that very soon, uh, the message finally starts getting heard, because that's part of what this is really about in a way, is being able to get the word out and get people equipped and get people prepared and educate people as well on
Yeah.
other things, because there's other things. I mean, I've been doing working in the paranormal for a very long time, and so there's a lot of things that can be learned from all of it. But
Did you ever
it,
check out my ITC videos?
yeah, you see that
You didn't?
I have not yet. You have a lot of things going on. I need to find out all your stuff and go to it.
I was an ITC researcher some years ago and have a Facebook page and a YouTube with all of the videos and things that I gathered. Very, very good communication. But yep, and I'm paranormal groups, ghost hunting. We're talking since the 90s. I was with the big cassette recorder getting EVPs. That was me. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. The best because it's magnetic tape. The best. So much better. Digital was more convenient, but magnetic
Mhm.
tape's so much better. Just
A
gonna say
lot of
it.
the thing, yeah, a lot of the things, the technology of the past has been better. Um, and so I need to check that out for
Yeah,
sure
Shroud
because
Paranormal ITC, Shroud Paranormal ITC on Facebook. And just go to videos and they're all there. They're all there. But I got out of that because I was doing things I wasn't trained to do. And the things that I was doing shouldn't be taken lightly. And I got out of it. I haven't done it since 2015.
that's understandable.
I've ghost
Um,
hunted, that kind of thing, but ITC I haven't done since 2015.
I really, I gotta tell you, uh, sometimes I wake up and I ask myself, how much of an open mind do you have about breaking your own neck? Because honestly, some of the things that I'm being asked to do now, I'm like, I thought TikTok was scary.
Yeah.
No, I'm like, I wake up some days and I'm like, uh, wait a minute, this plan, uh, I'm not
Yeah.
liking this.
Yeah.
But, 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 I also know that the guidance that I'm getting, I have never once gotten guidance from source that ended badly. It's like
Correct.
I'm still here, I'm still breathing,
Yep.
and there's a reason behind it. And that's one of the reasons why I'm going forward in some very uncomfortable places right now.
Okay.
And it's not going to end at this point. But I understand what you mean about not being trained and walking into stuff and going, hmm.
Well, no, it was it was with the ITC. The ghost hunting, that's fine. That's not a big deal. I've continued to do that. The ITC though, I don't know if you guys are familiar with a guy by the name of Steve Huff. Okay. Back in the day, he was a
Mm,
big ITC went viral, big, and we kind of had this collective. Okay. And the goal was to help energies cross over. Okay. It was a great idea, but it wasn't respected and it wasn't. I'm not sure he even realized the serious of it until it was like too late and too many people were doing it.
mm,
Okay, because here's the thing that you have to understand about energies that are stagnant. Okay, so some may call it lost energies. I call it stagnant energies. And the reason I call it that, instrumental transcommunication. Instrumental transcommunication. Um, but they don't, for some reason, a disconnect happens when they leave here and they go back to source, something happens and they get stuck. Okay.
mhm.
So we were helping or trying to help, and we were working with Archangel Saint Michael in doing so.
Mm,
But what you don't, what this is the part that wasn't understood. Once you make yourself a beacon to these energies, because you have to understand they're lost, they're stagnant.
mhm,
Once you make yourself a beacon, they come from everywhere. When you watch my videos, you'll go, oh, I understand exactly what she's saying. They were coming to me, and there's a recording. They were coming to me specifically asking me to say the prayer. Can you say the thing? They would say, can you say the thing? They were so desperate
mm.
to be unstuck. And it was like, I wasn't trained for that. I was trained to record some EVPs, do some ghost hunting. And I took myself out of that in 2015. So he continued and it didn't end well. It hasn't ended. I think he's actually come back recently, but he went through some rough stuff.
You know, here's one of the things that I really am going to have to start making a point of really when I get the opportunity, throwing that out there. It's really important for people to understand that good ideas are good, but um, and good theology is good. But you have instances like this. You have situations, um, for instance, a very classical situation of the twin flame theology
Mm,
being abused and,
yeah,
and misused.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
It's a perfect example of what happens when you go into things, and you can call it appropriate, you can call it whatever you want. If you're going into something and you don't know, you aren't educated, things can happen. These energies are real. Now, you can say ghosts are real. You can say spirits are real. You can say gods and goddesses are real. You can say deities. You can say cryptids. All of these things, you are not wrong. They are, because these
mhm,
energies do exist. These energies have been
mhm,
scientifically proven at this point. You can
exactly,
throw whatever label on them you want to.
exactly. And see, this is one of the, you know, again, and we have all these debates all the time about what these energies are, where they're from, blah 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 blah. Nephilim, this, everything is a Nephilim anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm waiting for somebody to tell me that Nephilim have reincarnated into textbooks. Um, it's just, and I get it, I really do. But the bottom line is you know, discernment is a wonderful gift, and it's a wonderful tool, and it should be used much more often.
It is to be used more often. However,
Mhm.
there's a fine line
There is a fine line,
between judgment and discernment, because we look
right?
through our life through a lens.
Mhm.
Okay. And this lens was created from our beginning. It's our experiences. It's our everything has created this lens. Everything we look at, we're going to judge through that lens. And in that judgment, discern which direction we are going. So we must be careful not to judge ourselves right out of an ascension.
Well, the biggest thing to remember with that though is the balancing act for discernment is a really simple four-letter word that we need to learn how to digest a lot better, and that's called
Called what?
love.
Oh, love. Yeah.
Love balances out all discernment, all other, like, what did I love? You know what? As much as people complain about about Paul and his writing, I love what he said about love. like the man was probably one of the most bitter characters in history, but his theology on love was supreme. And that's the thing of it. Love not only conquers all things, but it balances out all things too.
I would
So
agree with that.
if you if you work in the energy of love with
Mhm.
discernment, you're not going to really go into that. And this is
It's
the
not going to feel
problem.
natural for you.
Right,
Here's
right.
the thing about love. Let me talk to you about emotions and
Hmm.
the quantum. Okay. Emotions are vibrations.
Hmm.
Okay. Love, happiness, and there's a few others, are very high vibrational emotions. Okay.
Hmm.
That is why they're so powerful. Okay. That's why they balance things out because they balance you out. Because here's the thing, if you just look at everything through the lens of love, it's not going to mess you up. It's not going to perturb you. It's not going to bother you. It's not going to do anything to you. It's the best protection. That's what I talked about. Your beliefs, they create the
Hmm.
lens that you judge things with. Exactly.
Yeah. I think the thing that is so, and this is a lesson that I am being forced into on a daily basis right now as part of my calling at this point. Um, I take it seriously, guys. Believe me, I really do. But there are days when I wake up and I'm like, you feel like your face is melting. It's like
Especially lately.
oh my God. And
Yeah.
so it's like I keep going, hey, how much higher do we have to turn that violet flame up here? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, but honestly, at the end of the day, you know, it starts here. It starts with learning to love this.
Yeah.
And this was a very important, one of the most important statements made in the New Testament was when Jesus was asked, "What is the greatest commandment?"
Right.
Because oh, dude thought he was going to trip him up, and Jesus turned around and did something really, really clever. He quoted the Shema.
Yeah.
He was like, "To love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, body, and soul. Love, love the Lord
Love.
your God." He said, but actually, he said, and the second one is like unto it. Now, the problem with that part is, however, he was amending the Shema, but it's the way he amended it that was breathtaking.
Yeah.
The
He was
second
a
one is
wonderful
like,
teacher.
he was. He was like, the second one is like unto it. Love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Yes.
So,
And the
one,
reason so many people don't love their neighbors is because they
they
don't
don't
love
love
themselves.
themselves. This is how we fell in everything, is
That's right.
because self-punishment, self-hatred. Our greatest punishment, our greatest criticism, our greatest hater is right here.
That's right. That's right.
And in order to overcome these things, and I believe that honestly, when it comes to the quantum, if we have the ability to connect with it in any way whatsoever, one of the first things that will benefit anybody is to tap into how to direct your love energy inward first.
I would do frequency meditations.
Yeah.
I would do frequency meditations for 30 minutes.
Mhm.
There are different ones you can use that are for love, for self love, for relationship
Mhm.
love, all kinds of different frequencies. Because everything is energy. You are an energy being in a
Mhm.
meat suit. And
exactly.
we have egos, and our ego is what connects us to this earth, okay?
Hmm.
That's the glue, okay? But it was never meant to run things, okay? It's important, and this killing your ego business is baloney. Because if you kill your ego, then see you on the other side. But it was never meant to run the show. And that, unfortunately, is where we are. Where we are. It is our emotion. Ego is our emotion. Ego is what gives us our power. It's what makes the love emotion so powerful.
Very much so. Very much.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, though, we know where that whole concept comes from. It is a religionist concept.
That's right. It's
Uh,
just like the teachings of Jesus that has been so bastardized and so agendaized. I don't know what other words better than that, even if it's not a word, but it's
so
been
many.
changed. It's been changed to accommodate to agendas that have
Mhm.
nothing to do with the teachings of Jesus. Nothing.
Exactly. 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 And that's that's you again when we get into the well, many concepts, but all of the great teachers have been bastardized in some way or another.
Yes.
It's
It isn't just
especially
Christian. Yeah.
especially in the generations that are here now.
Yeah.
Like the boomers to where we are now
Yeah.
in generation
Well, they've
have
had so much
all,
time to do it now,
oh yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
And
Yeah.
that's the thing
But
is
even back in the 10th century, in the 15th century, where people were coming, for instance, over into this country and taking the Taino people, slave the Spanish in the name of Christ.
mhm,
Come on.
exactly. Well, and this is what I tell people. I love it whenever somebody gets on the defensive when I mention Jesus, and I'm like, you know what? I think you need to check um, your belief, personal belief, with the reality of the situation. If I, it is not Jesus that's the problem here. It's Jesus followers. There's a
Yes, that's
movie. Look,
correct.
there is a movie, and I think you can buy it on Amazon Video. It's called uh, Lord. What is it? Lord save us from your followers.
I think I've heard of that. I think I have heard of something like that. But
Look,
it's the truth.
look. There. This
But listen,
movie. It's a documentary, actually. It came out from a church in Portland, Oregon.
yeah.
Yeah, and if you really if you watch it when you
Ah,
first
I got to say something about what little
huh?
twisted. Okay, can I drag you down another hole? Can I? I know I've got a few more minutes. I do have to get off here in a little bit,
Yeah.
but let me drag you down another hole. I want to talk about what little twisted just said. They said they need to compare scripture to actual historical records. Here's the problem: the records are no good either.
Hmm.
But here's some things. Everybody, get your pencil and paper because I'm going to give you a few rabbit holes to jump down. I want you to look up an alien by the name of Bashar, Bashar. Okay, Bashar. It'll take you to his channel. And I mean the person who channels him, which is Daryl Anka, channels this entity. Everything is crazy right now. Everything is coming to a head. This age of Aquarius is way more powerful, I think, than it was expected to be. We see it in the sun, we see it in the moon, we see it in the earth, we see it everywhere. All the primal energies are irritated. There are craft. You've heard about the craft that are docked. That's not BS, people. That's not BS. They are coming. They are coming to help us not kill our, not blow up the planet. It's the planet that's the problem. If we blow up ourselves, that's our problem. The planet is what is being protected. But one thing they're
Hmm.
bringing us is a complete holographic record from the beginning of time on Earth for us to see the truth of everything. Now, you go jump down that rabbit hole. I don't know. Here's the thing, and I'm going to say, like I said just a little bit ago, at this point, I believe anything. I've seen so much stuff that at this point, I am not going to naysay anything. Okay. But you just jump down that rabbit hole. Let me tell you something. We lost. Do you understand what we lost in Alexandria?
Mm.
Because I don't know that people understand the scope. We're going to get that back and as a freaking movie.
Wow.
If that's true, this business ain't nothing. What are we
Right.
griping about? What are we worried about? What are we griping about? Why are we not just living our best lives?
Right. Right. Well, I think so many times, you know, we've again we're living on the cause effect record and memory of lifetimes of programming, and and our causal bodies are very dense, right? I mean, the whole point of transmutation, the whole point of balancing karma for the ascension is overcoming that programming, that
Mm-hmm.
brainwashing, the our conditioning, our human conditioning, our conditioning is, I tell people all the time, it's like you can't change lifetimes of conditioning in a few moments.
Right, but you can jump timelines because that's already
Hmm.
been proposed in quantum physics. Multiple worlds theory is a real thing. Multiple worlds theory. Look that up. I talk about it, I touch on it with superposition and things of that nature. All timelines exist. There is no future, there is no past. It all exists at the same time. That is why you can access those Akashic records. That information's here. You just got to know how to access it because it
Right.
all exists. That's why people can come to me and I can say, oh, well, I can tell you right now, you were this at one time, you've been this. And it's not you were, you are. You exist this
Hmm.
way all at the same time.
Right.
I did a really fun video. Margie Kay, who is the director of MUFON here in Kansas City, great gal. Okay, we're friends on Facebook. She gave me a great line earlier, and that's don't forget to burn your clocks on Sunday because time isn't real. I,
I
I
mean,
want
there
that
is
on a
that.
shirt.
There is definitely that. Wow.
Yeah, multiverse is real. Multiverse is a thing. This is not woo woo business. All you got to do is go to any scientific magazine website on quantum physics and read all about it. It's
You
nothing
know,
I made up.
it really is not. And one of the things, I'll tell you something very quickly, that the reason I know that this exists is there is nothing like pulling up to a stop sign and getting ready to make your turn onto the next road and putting on the brakes because something that's not really in your timeline is crossing by and you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
and you
Yeah.
literally stop for it
Yeah.
because it is in a different timeline of
Yeah.
how you're seeing it,
Yeah.
and you're engaging with it
Yeah.
right then and there, and you got people behind you going, "What are you?" And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah. 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 Because that, and that's the whole thing when we get into, because I'm going to be doing eventually after this third quantum awakening, third in the series, that'll be over. Then I'm going to go into the paranormal
mhm,
and quantum metaphysics and how, with my 30 years of research on spirit and experience with spirit, I understand so much more because it's not a ghost is not just a ghost.
no,
A ghost is not just a ghost because there are some that we call ghosts. No, they just are existing on a different timeline at the same time as us or existing in a different part of the time at the same time as us.
mhm,
Okay? And then there are residual energies, recorded energies. Okay. And then there are stagnant energies, and those usually play on a loop. That's the lady when I was able to walk, and I can't anymore because of my rheumatoid arthritis, but I walked the graveyard because I love the people there. And this lady was at the corner every day saying, "Where's my tombstone?" There is not a ghost on this plane that gives a shit about their tombstone. Okay.
mm,
But she's caught in a loop. So she's not like a lady.
mm,
She's my theory with her is she's got a loved one who's very upset about no tombstone being there. And it's holding that part of her energy to that
mm.
spot. And until that's released, until that's observed and then collapsed, like my books talk about, then that energy will be released. But that's not a ghost.
Right.
So see what I'm saying? And I wanna discuss those things. I wanna see what
Mhm.
see what everybody thinks that tastes like.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. You know what? Denise made already is already asking me, can we get you back sometime?
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. I'd love to come back anytime.
you know what? This is the first time I'm saying this on my show. You have an open, like literally anytime you want to, just hit me up and we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is like, because here's the thing of it. Like I've
Expand.
followed you as best I can. God, you're so all over the place with everything.
I
I,
am,
since
because we
like
didn't
the
even talk about my prepper channel.
no, no, we did not. Look, um, the very first time I saw anything from you, I was like, who is this chick? And
Yeah.
where is she coming from? And then I started deep diving. I was like, I'm gonna find out who this is.
I don't
And
know
it's
when you
like,
discovered me, but here's how this started.
mhm,
This was for me. I didn't expect one person to care anything about what this fat, old, gray haired 50-year-old woman dressed like the prosecutor's assistant that I was. Okay. But this was a way for this upped my affirmation game. I could make a video going, "Get off your ass. You're better than this. You go kick ass." I was telling that to me, not y'all. It's just all of a sudden everybody was like, "Yeah, I need to hear that too."
mhm,
Okay. And then where did I start? Oh, when the CIA papers got released, that's when the quantum path began because I knew it already. And then here I had a government agency telling me I was right. Let me put on my swimsuit so I can do a belly splash right into that pond. And here I am today
right.
with that.
Look, there was a point where I used to. hang up. Do you know who Bill Cooper was? William Cooper, the
I
author.
think I've heard the name.
He was the one who authored Behold a Pale Horse.
Oh, no. Okay, no, I haven't read that. I haven't. No.
So
I've heard of that, but I haven't read it.
he was the guy who, if you remember, like literally the day of or the day after, um, the Patriot Act was signed into effect.
Yeah.
He was the guy in Arizona that the police went after,
Okay.
and they offed him on his own property
Yeah.
that very day.
Yeah.
I think it was actually the day it was signed
Yeah.
into effect.
Yeah.
And coincidentally, he was also the person who Bush said was the most dangerous man in America.
Yeah.
So at one point, I was living in Atlanta just before this, and was associated with somebody who was associated with him.
Mm.
Her name was Robin Quayle, and her biggest thing was past life regression
Yeah.
and the paranormal. She did a lot of work with abductees, and so we kind of hung out together. We actually met at one of Bill Cooper's lectures at the Science Hall in Atlanta, and I gotta tell you, like the minute I walked into that auditorium and I started hearing this man speak, I was like, oh my God, he's saying everything I've known since I was 9 years old.
Yes. Yes. That is what I mean by we're not teaching you anything.
Mm-mm.
We're helping you remember.
Exactly, exactly. And that's one of the things that I keep trying to remind myself too is like, because and I've said that if you followed my TikToks at all, you know that one of my biggest fears has always been becoming a cult figure because
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is in my family history. That is, I was part of Church Universal and Triumphant at one time. I and I've seen this happen over and over again. And one of my biggest fears was becoming a, a personality cult figure. Did
Yeah.
not ever want that to happen.
Yeah.
Now,
I
the
want to reach
direction
the people, but organically.
exactly, exactly. Well, and unfortunately, and I've started becoming more vocal about this lately. You know, there are some of us who came into this lifetime under the agreement that we would be okay to do certain things. But then, um, Ray, hey, how are you doing? Um, Ray pops in, just boom, there he is. I've had the paranormal rejects on recently too. Um, but when I decided to agree to this incarnation, I know that somewhere along the line I had to have said, okay, I'm okay with doing this
Yeah.
because Source is not just going to push you in there and say, okay, this is what you're going to do
No.
without,
Yeah.
and so I know that there was that agreement, and somewhere along the line I woke up one day and I was like, why did I agree to this? But I am learning slowly, you know, to start reminding people that you despite whatever my calling is, it has nothing to do with anything. I am only literally a vehicle
Yeah.
for a purpose.
Hmm.
I'm a tool in the toolbox. It's nothing like do I have any authority or whatever? There's no claim to authority over anything.
No.
Literally anything that any one person is doing, anybody could do.
Yes. and you do it your own way. Don't do it like I'm doing it. I'm going to
Right.
introduce you to how I do it
Hmm.
in hopes that you feel it enough to know what you're looking for. And then you can do it your own way. And so many people, I want to use the spiritual hitman as an example. He does the same thing I do, but he does it in his own way.
Hmm. Exactly.
And it's completely different than the way I do it, but it's the same thing. I love
It's
it. I love it. And there's so many other people that do things. I follow a lot of people that speak to me in the way that they do things. What is it? Shaman Thanet is another one that I follow.
exactly. Exactly. There's and here's
I love you too, Ray.
we all what Ray is probably more dangerously close to becoming a cult figure than anybody else. I think
Probably.
we all love Ray. Um, I give Ray a lot of stuff sometimes. I hit him pretty hard some days, but he's a really good sport about the whole thing.
I'm waiting for
Um,
him to come to Kansas City so that I can join him on one of his
ooh,
I'm going to be his token witch for his investigation.
ooh. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that we can eventually run into each other along the line too, and do some work. Uh, the first of all, they're so fun. They're really
They are. They're
they're
fun.
so fun. The interview was great, and then of course um, Tom Franklin from the Eye of Jupiter did an interview with him, and he came back to he's like he loves them too. I knew he would. First of all, Tom and Ray are almost cut from the same. It, they both have a really great sense of humor. They both have that just the perfect mentality for a beautiful chaotic future,
Right,
and I
right.
love it. I love it. Um, the thing that you I tell everybody now it's becoming more prevalent in the things that I'm speaking on whenever I do solo um, projects now or solo video is we are all wired with this with the ability to tap into all of the spiritual gifts,
Yeah.
all things, all
Yeah.
spiritual things, all
Mhm.
spiritual gifts. Now, there are some because of the agreements that they've made for this lifetime that are wired to access some of them a lot easier than others.
Mhm.
However, it does not mean that you're closed off if you're not capable of, you know, reaching one of the clairs real easily or whatever. You're not closed off to those things. They're there. It's just you need to figure out it in the reference of normality to you how to reach that point and how to tap into that. The energy is available. It's like I kind of liken it to the fact that all electronic appliances are wired the same way,
Mhm.
basically, and just like all human beings are wired the same way, but the wiring is set up to do different things in different ways at times, heating, cooling, whatever. It doesn't mean that you could not convert that wiring to be able to do the other thing. You can, because the wiring is still the same.
Yeah.
It's the way that it's put together that makes one thing easier to do at that moment.
Mhm.
And
I
that's
think
one of the
the biggest thing that keeps people from progressing is they're not consistent in their practice.
right, right,
It didn't happen
exactly.
the first week, so therefore I must not have any gifts.
Right, right. Well,
No, it doesn't work that way.
and another factor that helps a lot with exactly right. Um, the other thing that's very important along with the with that, and it should be part of the practice, is self-care. Uh, Consistent with self-care is very important because if you're not getting the right amount of food, the right amount of sleep, yeah,
Listen, the
um,
Trinity is a real thing. The
yeah,
Trinity is a real thing, and it's in many, many practices, not just Christendom. Okay.
mhm,
You have the mind, you have the body, and you have the spirit. The
so-
spirit is your meridian, your quantum, your nervous system. And if you ignore one, the other two will be affected.
exactly, exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, because I can tell you now, I mean, look, it's a proven fact that if you go through sleep deprivation, you, one of the first things that happens is a breakdown of being able to do motor functions properly, hallucinations start happening, those sorts of things. A lot of this stuff starts happening. If you eat a lot of the wrong food,
Right?
your body's going to go out of balance. You have to like, you know, there's a reason why the old folks used to say, "Man can't live by bread alone,"
Mm-hmm.
you know,
That's right.
because it's true. You know, this is it, it is essential that you must keep the balances
Yeah.
going, and it's hard. I get it, especially in our culture now, in this dog eat dog kind of fast
Mhm.
paced thing. You know,
What's hard is jumping out of the pond on that.
it
I
is.
was there. I was there too. I was there. I
Mhm.
mean, I was the office 8 to, I'm also important, blah, 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 blah. Don't have time. And then I made time.
Right,
Period.
right,
Period. You come to a point, people make decisions all the time. You make decisions on what coffee you're going to drink. You make decisions on what you're going to eat for lunch. You make decisions. You don't have any problem making that decision. But will you make a decision to give yourself 30 minutes?
right.
30 minutes. I talk about, I'm a meditation teacher. I don't know if you knew that, but I talk about the japa meditation with the mala beads. It takes about 10 or 15 minutes to get through a set of beads. And the whole premise of that 108 beads, it was, they did the math, and it's like you take about 15 or so breaths per minute, comes up to about 22,000 breaths in a 24-hour period. Don't you think you deserve 108 of those?
Right, right,
You do.
exactly.
So it's just a decision. It's a decision like any other decision.
It really is. It very much is. And I think it this is the area where, so many people tend to they don't understand every time you say yes to one thing, you have to say no to another.
True.
So if you if you say yes to a whole bunch of things
Yep.
for your day and you filled up all your
That's
time,
right.
then you're going to have to say no
That's right.
to the self-care part.
That's right.
This is what you don't want to do. It is perfectly okay. Look, my bosses know now,
Yeah.
without a doubt,
Yeah.
that if I tell them no and they keep yip, 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 like a bunch of chihuahuas, I look at them and I go, if you text me one more time about
Yeah.
this, I
Yeah.
will elevate this
That's
as to
good.
harassment.
Boundaries. Boundaries. That's
And
fantastic. Yeah.
I literally tell them I will elevate this to your boss and HR as
Hmm.
harassment. And they shut up right away because
Yeah.
they know they're like, oop,
Yeah.
we went too far
Yeah.
this time. Yeah, you
You
did.
you've got to take your own power. You've got to take your
Mhm.
own time, and you've got to, and here's the thing. Our culture has made it, we're selfish if we put ourselves first. That's
Of
so
course,
selfish.
of
How can
course.
you do that?
And and what does our culture claim to be? What is the first thing that most people whenever they say anything about America, what's one of the first things I want to throw in there?
I have a pretty big list.
Well, I mean, one of the most obvious is they'll start off with the whole thing with religion. You
Yeah.
know, Jesus. I love
Yeah.
Jesus. If you love Jesus so much, why don't you learn to teach to love yourself
Yeah.
instead of put yourself second?
Because that's what he was preaching.
Exactly.
That's what
And
he was preaching. Yeah.
you know the thing that really blows me away, I shut down one of my bosses one day in a way
Thanks,
that
Pamela.
she could not. She's been putting up the links quite a
I
bit.
know.
Um, I'll tell
Super great.
you, Pam is the
On it.
super mod. She is the super mod. We all know her ability to. She keeps files. She
Oh my
actually
Lord.
files this stuff. Um, I told one of my bosses because I told her I said I don't know what I'm going to do if we don't figure out the gigs and the scheduling pretty soon because I'm not getting enough money coming in
Yeah.
uh, at this job. And she said to me, "This company should be your first priority." And I said to her, "Oh no, little girl." She's she's a little bit younger than I am. I
Yeah.
said, "Oh no, little girl, I am my first priority.
Oh, absolutely. That no.
You
Yeah.
are lucky if you were a second."
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly right.
Well, because here's the thing of it. You know what? At the end of the day, we are responsible for us alone
Yeah.
first. Because if you can't take care of you and you're not right, you can't take care of your kids. You can't take
Mm-mm.
care of your
Mm-mm.
significant other. You
Mm-mm.
can't take care of your neighbor, whoever you're trying to take care of.
Yep.
You
Yep.
can't do any of that.
That's right.
And
That's right.
that's the bottom line. Because, you know, if you're on a fast track to marching to your final destination because of poor behavior to yourself,
Right.
you're
Right.
not doing anybody around you any good, you know. And
Well, if you don't take care of yourself physically, you're going to get
mhm,
sick. Okay.
yeah,
And then you
yeah,
can't do anything. If you don't take care of
right,
yourself mentally, you're going to get sick and you're
mhm,
not going to be able to do anything. And you know
mhm,
what? If you don't take care of yourself energetically, you're probably going to get sick physically and mentally.
right, right,
So jump out of the pond. That's perfect.
right.
Yeah, it really is. And stay out. Once you're out, don't go back.
Yeah, yeah,
Just be brave. It's much better over here. I know it's scary. It is. Escaping the norms, even if it's just a few things that you do,
mhm,
it's so scary. What are they going to say? What are the people going to say that are in my life? What's
mhm.
my family going to say? What are the
What's
people at
gonna
work
be
going to say?
said?
Am I going to lose all my friends? Blah, blah, blah. You know what? I have never lost one friend for jumping out of the pond. Not one. If I did, it was because I moved on.
Exactly,
Because energetically, we no longer matched.
exactly. You know, I will admit there's a couple of decisions I've made that I've had people go, I cannot follow you on this. And
Right.
I'm like, I literally looked at him and said, you know what? It doesn't change the fact that I love you, but but you know,
Yeah.
you have to choose for yourself first.
That's right. We all have our own realities. I've got
Mhm.
really good friends that are involved in things sometimes that I'm just like, why are you doing this to yourself? But I'll still be there. I'll be there to help remind them of their power. I'll be there to help them protect their themselves. You know,
Mhm.
that's all you can do.
Right.
Yeah.
Look, you know what, Ray, I'm going to tell them something a little bit about you quick, and nothing, I'm not going to go deep. So here's the thing of it. Ray made a very tough decision in his life at one point. um, to turn away from something that would require a lot from him to do because it was best for Ray. And this is one of the reasons why I admire Ray and love Ray so much. I know what the payout and the cost for this type of thing is jumping
Yeah.
out of the pond that he
Yeah.
jumped out of. I
Yeah.
know. I, and so, it was exactly.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is you did it. And the first time I heard you speak on that, I was like, I don't know who this man is, but I love him because I knew just because of that one moment. Exactly. I've been there myself, and I was like, that is not, there are so many thousands of people that are entrapped in that
Yeah.
mess
Yeah.
that you can't, when you find the rare few that say no more,
Right. Right.
you know, and they walk away from situations that are just not okay, not
Yeah.
healthy for you. You know, those are the gems, the golden nuggets in your
Yeah.
life that you want to have and cherish and adore for who they are.
Yeah.
Because and I feel like that's all of us that are jumping out of the pond, at this
Hmm.
point, is finding the for lack of a better word, the nads to be able to do it. Is
Well, and
like,
here's the thing, you need to find that group of people
mhm,
too. It used to drive me crazy. Grandma would go, birds of a feather. And I would be like, shut up. They're my friends. No, you mind who you entangle with
yeah,
because it does affect you and your energy. You want to be around people that bring you forward in your ascension, not keep you down.
100%, 100%. And that is the thing. It takes a village. It really does. And there's always going to be people who have your back. It In the world that we live in right now, I know it seems like that's not the case.
Yeah.
Uh, but oh wow, I love that. That is so pure.
You,
I love that.
you are the company
So
you eat and the company you keep and the food you eat, the company you
there you
eat.
go. Oh, God. Please don't eat your company. Oh my goodness, there's so many things. Okay. Um, so the bottom line, though, again, is you feel free, guys, to explore and take on something new
Yeah.
and something challenging
Just
if you're
one
not
thing.
doing it.
One
If
thing.
you're not doing it, yeah, yeah. Um, I know, guys. I know some of you are saying they're thinking, "Wow, I really this is has been an experience." See, I knew the minute that Nana and I first started talking about performance, I knew there were going to be people that are like, "I like this," you know. Well, because you know, you are a very clear, fresh glass of water that people need from time to time. I don't know if people have ever told you that or not, but
No,
you are that pure, fresh, clear glass of water that just
here it is.
refreshes.
I'm going to go back to it's because you already know what I say to you.
Hmm.
Every time I say something to somebody, even if it's the newest thing
Hmm.
that I just got, everybody goes, yeah, I knew that already. I can't believe I didn't think of that. I knew that already. You know, I'm not doing anything but being me
Hmm.
and yelling what I know. And I don't care about, I mean, I came 4 years ago, I was the assistant to the prosecutor.
Mhm.
Okay. And now I'm a quantum teacher. Talk about jumping out of a pond.
Right, right.
And I keep myself accountable. I surround myself with people that help me stay accountable.
Mhm.
And am always reminded that there's more to learn. Even though I'm sharing what I've learned, I never want to come off as being, oh, you need to do this or you're doing it wrong, because that is not what this is.
Mhm.
You need to be doing this to make whatever it is you're doing better.
Right.
This has no correlation over any particular, maybe, uh, craft practices, religious practices, none of that. This makes all that better. It explains it.
Mhm.
When you understand things, it gives it more power.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So I
This,
appreciate you, Daniel. I really do. And I thank you so much for having me on your show. And I so want to come back and hope you ask someday.
well, you know what? Thank you. I appreciate you as well, and I am really grateful that you reached out when you did, because I was like, I a few of you guys I've been going, when is a good time? When am I going to really have, because I realize that schedules are a big deal with some of you guys. Sometimes y'all have
Yeah, I
stuff.
was supposed to be live 30 minutes ago.
Oh wow, yeah, yeah. Um, so we will wrap this up then and let you go do your thing. But I do appreciate you. We love
Um,
you.
and I can't wait. Everybody come see Ryan.
Yes,
I
yes,
don't want to miss that. So I want to make sure I'm going to. This is on your YouTube, correct?
yes,
I need to go and click a bell.
yes, do.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I'm probably going to be promoting his stuff on a couple of platforms a little bit sooner than normal because his followers are, you know,
They're
they're
pretty
gonna
devoted.
they're gonna want to. They're,
Yeah,
you know what,
yeah.
my numbers are probably gonna go weird that night.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just,
It'll
it'll
be
be
great.
interesting.
It'll be
Uh,
great.
it'll be very interesting. He already told me he said, okay, I'll promise to behave, and I just kind of laughed. I was like,
He's a liar.
I love him though. I love Ryan.
Oh, he knows. He knows what he means to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's a very close confidant of mine. So yeah,
It took me a while, but I do. I absolutely love Ryan now that I see his true colors. He's a
yeah,
very beautiful
yeah.
creature. All right. I'm gonna let you get to what you need to do for the night,
Thanks,
but thank
everybody.
you.
Pam, you were super. Ray, I love you. I'll see you later. I don't know who else is in here, but
Denise is
Denise is
pretty
here.
much she's now a fan, seriously.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll let you kick me out too.
Okay.
Okay. Bye bye.
And bye. All right. That was Nana the Witch. See, guys, I told you you would love her. She is, I gotta tell you, like the first time I got an opportunity to really watch some of her stuff, and I mean binge watch some of her stuff, I was just like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. It was like I just could not quit watching her videos, and I was like, I love this. I love her energy. I love just an amazing, amazing amount of stuff to learn from her. And, again, as Nana says, she's really just reminding us of what we already know. And I get that. Um, but there's those rare individuals that you meet, and it's interesting that we're all. Oh, I know, Ray. That's the thing of it. How can you not enjoy? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when you come on, dude. It's like when you come on, how can you not enjoy a moment with Ray? That's the thing of it. There's some of you guys, um, there's a lot of you guys I'm actually coming in contact with lately. Now that I'm doing this, now that I'm in the right place at the right time for the right reason. Pam, thank you. Um, I'm coming in contact with a lot of really good people. All right, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Next week, I have somebody who I've been trying to get on for a while, uh, who I actually uh, discovered through the Eye of Jupiter with Tom Franklin. Another person who I love dearly. Tom is Tom and Pam are my partners in crime. Um, Next week we have Roz Javier is going to come on. He is from oh, the Ohio area, and we're going to be discussing uh, some very interesting things that have happened there in Ohio, and I'm going to pick his brain about some things that I kind of feel like is very interesting. He has this guy has an amazing outlook on things, and if you like music, he's also a musician. So I'm going to give him a chance to talk about his music a little bit because I think that's good too. We don't want to always be, this is not a religion. We're not going to be pounding paranormal into people's heads. We're going to talk about some other things from time to time too. Uh, the the project that I was talking about earlier, Magical Journeys Paranormal Journal, is effectively started now. I dropped, it's only 30 minutes, but I did drop the first episode of that last night at 3 o'clock in the morning, the witching hour. Uh, that will be dropped every Thursday. Uh, let's say noon your time. Look for it by noon your time. Um, and of course, I have the Tuesday recorded show that I drop. Uh, I've got to tell you guys, I need some, I need a little bit of help from y'all. Your homework is to drop me a line, a suggestion on people that you would like to see for the recorded show because I keep pushing people into the lives, but I know there's some people that maybe the Friday night thing is just not going to work for their schedule, but you guys want to hear from them anyway. And those are the people I'm looking for now is to fill that Tuesday show. So I'm not doing solos all the time because you guys don't want to hear me drone on and on for an hour 2 times a week now. Um, but yeah, so help me out with that. Throw me some suggestions and um, thank you, Pam. Yes. And if you would like to drop it into my inbox, it is magicaljourney.com. Daniel at magicaljourney.com. Uh, There was something else I was going to throw out there. Yeah, 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 yeah. So a plug for Tom's show, the interview that he just dropped. Pam, was that interview just dropped today? Was it dropped yesterday? I think it was dropped today, right? The one with um, Michael Cameron. Uh, the whole title of his book is High Strangeness, A Lifetime of Aliens and Paranormal Encounters. Guys, I don't know if you have a lot on your plate for this weekend or not, but make a point to go over to the Eye of Jupiter and check out that interview. Um, Michael has become a friend of mine, and I got to tell you, he is beyond a sweet soul. It's just I can't even begin to it like there is no words for the generosity and kindness of this person, okay? Michael has just an energy that if you don't love him before it's over with, something is serious. You need to check somehow. You need to check something. Uh, you need to check something. Um, I've just saw something on my screen I needed to tend to. So go over and check that out. Please do yourself a favor. You'll like the interview. He also has another interview coming up with Michael, and I actually have him scheduled too. Uh, I mean, we're friends now, so of course I'm going to have him on my show at some point. So go watch that. It will help you better understand the second interview coming up because I'm going to be plugging that one too. And as always, may your journey always be magical.